Hello, friends, and welcome back to 5 Agendas. Now, this thought paper for October is going to be a special one, number 8, and it's going to be on the 10 kings at the Brickworks. We'll just get this out of the way right here. Whenever you read the scriptures slowly and permit the words of life to speak, there are nuances and detail that emerge. It seems it has always been overlooked, and you may remark, as if, how was this missed? None more common for this experience is the 10 kings of Revelation 17 and its relation to Daniel 7:23 to 25. The reason for missing much is simple. There exist far too many superimposed assumptions on the text. You read and relied on those answers, and it's left at that. Familiar? Fact remains, we have much to learn and much more to unlearn. You can see the link for that quote there. This discussion looks at a small aspect of Revelation 17. And coming up, there will be a chart to help you see this. The 10 kings, and especially how they, when formed, relate to the momentous changes in global structure. It is to be suggested this formation of the 10 kings is happening today in 2023 as we speak. When Revelation 17 is undertaken for thoughtful consideration, a review can bring awareness. And as most already know, this chapter of Scripture is a very tightly woven and formidable tapestry of prophecy, both past history and future events. Extremely rich in layers of purposely worded detail, but again, God conveys a wide use of metaphors, of beasts with many heads, a mysterious woman of ill repute, with specific references to 5 fallen kings and 2 to follow, and finally to be led by the 7th. And there is an 8th king who lurks, was, is, and shall be to emerge. But regardless, God included in this chapter 10 kings. The detail about the 10 kings requires a good look, especially to their imminence and their relevance today and just beyond. Why? Well, Revelation 17 is not all about the scarlet hag. The 10 kings of Revelation 17. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Yes, this discussion looks at a small aspect of Revelation 17, the 10 kings, and especially how they, when formed, relate to the momentous changes in global structure. It is to be suggested this formation of the 10 kings is happening today in 2023 as we speak. While there are numerous viewpoints and much speculation about Revelation 17, the fact is God does say the 10 kings are used by him for his will to fulfill his will, and culminates in the demise of the 7th king, whose reign is short, and then the emergence of the 8th king of Revelation 17. Then those events are followed by the healing of the deadly wound. And then comes the events of Revelation 13 and Revelation 11 in tandem for 3.5 years. Kings, those events followed by deadly wound. Then Revelation 13 and 11, 3.5 years. For those skeptical, laden with doubt, read on. When was the last time you reviewed the 10 kings? To gain a better perspective about the 10 kings of chapter 17 and their contribution, it's best to consider Daniel 7, 23 to 25. It says, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of time. From the expanded version, because that was the King James. This is interesting. And he explained this to me, the fourth animal, beast, is a fourth kingdom that will come on the earth. It will be different from all the other kingdoms and will destroy, consume people all over the world, the whole earth. It will walk on, trample, and crush the whole earth. But the 10 horns are 10 kings who will arise from this fourth kingdom. After those 10 kings are gone, another king will arise. He will be different from the kings who ruled before him, the former ones, and he will defeat, cause to fall 3 of the other kings. This king will speak against the Most High God, and he will hurt and kill or wear out God's holy people, the holy ones of Most High God. He will try to change times, holy times, and laws that have already been set. Holy people that belong to God will be in that kings. They will be given into his power for 3.5 years. A time, times, and half a time. He will seem to grow, but then be cut back. Things to notice. The word subdue, right here, of 3 kings, from Daniel 7:24, is not the same Hebrew word as plucked here, up by the roots. as is used in Daniel 7:8. Did you get that? The word subdue and the word plucked, they are not the same Hebrew word. Completely different meanings. Number 2, Daniel 7:24, where the word subdue is used, is very important because of the word difference applies. And that small detail changes the prophetic assumptions of Daniel 7, and God presents two separate events. The basis of apotelesmatic application of the 1260-year type at a second fulfillment, a reformation in the contemporaneous sense of the 10 kings, and therefore applies to the 1260 days literal apotelesmatic application of Revelation 13 and Revelation 11, which equals Matthew 24:15, where Jesus said, referring the abomination that maketh desolate, that it was going to be in the last days. Number 3. But more importantly, this union of 10 kings with the beast equals Revelation 17:12. And then events of Revelation 17:16 to 18, just prior to the lion-mouthed beast in Revelation 13. Number 4, this means that the another king stated in Daniel 7:24 holds reign, which equals Revelation 13. The beast. And that is when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Number 5. Just as God said with the 10 kings of Revelation 17, which brings to the reality the last 10 kings and their contemporaneous reign. This is distinct from the prior line of 10 successive kings, and why Revelation 17 specifies the 7 heads equals mountains and are described in Revelation 17:9 to 10. So think of the two words subdue and plucked up as being different, two separate things, events. And think of the 10 kings, 10 as being successive and 10 as being contemporaneous. It says, and here's the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, okay, on which the woman sitteth, and there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Number 7, another important point. The 10 kings of Revelation 17 have no crowns. See right there in verses 3 and 11. Whereas the beast of Revelation 13:1 that reigns, the 10 horns, or kings, all have crowns. The papacy cannot be the another king of Daniel 7:24. And you're going to see why shortly. Yes, this is what we always were taught and thought and believed. Number 9, the reason is the woman, the papacy, and her city are destroyed by the 10 kings. Revelation 17, 16 to 18, in union with the beast of Revelation 13, who then reigns unchallenged and unabated. These 10 kings destroy that woman, so therefore it cannot be another king, the papacy. Make sense? Number 10, Laodicea to this day assume the papacy fulfills the another king of Daniel 7:24. And you've just seen why that cannot be. And worse, they assume the subduing by this new king, the 8th of Revelation 17, is the same as uprooting 3 kings of Daniel 7:8. That is impossible. Number 11, as explained previously, 538 AD was never a valid prophetic date for Daniel 8:14. An error carried over from the Millerite days because the last stand of the 3 Ostrogoth kings, Witiges, Totila, and Tia, these 3 Ostrogoth kings, saw the uprooting of Gothic wars ended in 554. Here's the links. This 8th king of Revelation 17 is the same 8th king of Daniel 7:24 and Daniel 8:23. The 8th king here is the same here. Verily it says, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. Now, here is the BRICS 15th summit. I would encourage you to go read this. And I believe there's a little video. Yes. Have a look at that. Okay? It's not that much. This article describes the first 5 founding members of the Brickworks. Okay? It describes the benefits to regional economics, self-sovereignty. These founding members are conceivably 5 founding members, half of the 10 horn or 10 kings. Think about that for a few minutes. 5 are already here. It is possible, according to Daniel 7:24, that there is a country or countries of the western area of the EU will be somehow represented within the Brickworks order of business. If this is so, noting their long history that goes back to the era of the Scarlet Beast, And the 5 fallen kings, and you're going to see who those are shortly, of Revelation 17, which equals the 1260 years. The is not, period. This is interesting because God did say there are the 3 kings who are subdued. In Daniel 7:24. Not plucked up, as were the Ostrogoths by 554. Did you get that? The Ostrogoths, Wittagista Till and Tia, were plucked up by 554. But there's a difference between the 3 kings who are subdued. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. This hasn't happened yet. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. And I thought this had already happened. Comment. The 10 that shall arise out of this kingdom are part of the former 4th beast that was, is not, and yet is, and are originally in their formation and origin of the scarlet beast, where there were the 10 successive reigns. Remember, there was 10 successive reigns, but then there's 10 contemporaneous. This is presented as follows. Rome, beast that was. 10 Diocletian persecutions. Jesus tells the remnant church of Smyrna that they would experience 10 days of persecution. In the year-day principle, the reality was a 10-year period which began in 303 AD to 313 AD. Persecution ends with Constantine's Edict of Milan. Roman beast becomes Christian Europe's first social order of the Church of Rome. 476 AD, Rome falls to the Roman foederati, mercenaries, in 476. The Bible predicts 10 successive kings who issue forth out of the Roman Empire. The first 3 kings were Arian Ostrogoths, which were antagonistic to the Orthodox Catholic faith in Western Europe, which was Trinitarian. Here, now remember the first 3 were Ostrogoths, so here is your 10 successive, not contemporaneous, horns. Wittagis was Arian, Attila was Arian, Tia was Arian. That's 1, 2, 3. Transition age is finished, and the woman of bad reputation now rides over the beast that is not. Revelation 17:8. Catholic Church now rides the 7 last horns of the beast, which are the 7 kings of Revelation 17:10. Imperial restoration. Justinian defeats the final Ostrogothic kings, being Witiges, Totila, and Tia, by 553 AD. All 3 uprooted by 554. Here's all your links and your proof. Historical proof. And no earlier, and that's Daniel 7:8. Uprooted. So there's your first 3, Witiges, Totila, and Tia. Now we come to the 4th, which is the first head, ridden by the woman or church, and this has to do with Justinian's royal pragmatic sanction of 554. Western and Eastern Europe, now one. We go to the second head, but in numerical lineup, this is the 5th. Ridden by woman, we have Charlemagne. So Justinian, now Charlemagne, crowned in 800 AD as king, father of Europe, and he glued Europe together. Established feudalism and appointed land to the nobles. He's the second head, but the 5th successive king. He came after, in succession, to Justinian. That's Charlemagne. Now we come to the 3rd head, the 6th king. Ridden by the woman, Otto the Great, around 973 AD, the Holy Roman Emperor, glued Europe together for a short space of time. We come to the 7th king, or the 4th head. Ridden by the woman is Charles V, the 1500s time frame of Protestant Reformation, glued Europe together with outposts of the Holy Roman Empire extending to the New World, as well as the Philippines. That's the 4th head, or 7th successive king. Now we come to the 8th successive king, or the 5th head. Remember, 5 are fallen. So who was that? Let's find out. Ridden by the woman. Aha, Napoleon Bonaparte. French Holy Roman Empire glued Europe together and stated on record that he was the sword of Charlemagne. Revelation 17:10 states that 5 have fallen: Justinian, Charlemagne, Otto the Great, Charles V, and Napoleon. And 1 is, and that's the time frame of the 9th horn, or 6th head. And that 6th head, or 9th horn, is ridden by the woman, and that's fascist Italy and Nazi Germany. King Victor Emmanuel, puny figurehead emperor. The Lateran Treaty signed with the Church of Rome, 1 is, 5 are fallen, 1 is, appears to be the time frame of the puny 6th head, whom Mussolini stated as being the emperor of Abyssinia and Albania, namely Italian Emperor King Victor Emmanuel. This invasion gave birth to the Pact of Steel between fascist Italy and Nazi Germany. The 7th head, or the 10th king. Ridden by the woman, which equals the upcoming, soon to be, great monarch. You can read about that here. In an upcoming revival of a united Europe, which is scheduled to be functional in and around 2030 and is presently in the expansion process into Eastern Europe. The 10th horn or government to come out from the beast that was and is not. There's your 7th head, or the 10th king. Look at this. Isn't this going to be interesting? Okay. Do you see these successive kings of the 10? Witiges, Totil, and Tia, who were all Aryan, were uprooted, and that's Daniel 7:8. And that's the difference between uprooted. Okay. Difference between uprooted and subdued. So here's your help chart to help you visually see this, that there were 3 who were uprooted, Witiges, Totil, and Tia. Here's the total of 10. They were the first 3. But then there's the 7 heads, 7 mountains, 7 kings. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first was Justinian. The second head was Charlemagne. The third head was Otto the Great. The fourth head was Charles V. The fifth head was Napoleon B. It says 5 are fallen. That's Revelation 17:10. See, 3 subdued, 5 fallen. Brings you a total of 8. King Victor Emmanuel, the Pact of Steel, that your 6th head, the one is. 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space, and that's your grand monarch. That's your 7th head. This is where we are right here in time. The era of the 7th king ends. Revelation 17:12-16, and Daniel 11:40-45 is telling you what's going to happen. And that's when the 10 contemporaneous. So here you had your 10 successive, and now you're going to have your 10 contemporaneous kings, and that's the difference between uprooted, these 2 Hebrew words telling you these are going to happen at this time. Those have already been uprooted, and there's going to be an upcoming subduing of 3 kings. It's not the same thing. Today, 10 kings in formation, 10 contemporaneous kings. In the era of the 8th king, another king, 3 will be subdued. Daniel 7:24, Revelation 13. When the scarlet woman is destroyed, 10 kings, 1 hour, and 1 mind with the beast. Revelation 17:12-16. And that's going to be the era of 2 witnesses, which corresponds with Zechariah 8:23. 10 men, 10 kings take hold of the skirt of a Jew. Have a look. And I think what we'll do, because I want to be able to make this easy for people to, like in the evening, after supper, or whatever, when you have time, view this, and so that it's not so long. And for instance, you can this will be part 1 of this thought paper, the part 2, look, save that for tomorrow night. We all know we get busy. So we'll take a break, and we'll come back with Part 2 of the 10 Kings at the Brickworks.